guys, Jane here, and today I want to talk about books that are made into movies. Now, I love movies that are made from books, and I love to read the book and watch the movie because I generally feel like the movie is kind of the base story, and then all the really good stuff is in the book. You get all the character thoughts and feelings and ideas, and you get a lot of stuff that, wasn't important enough to put in the movie, but that is just valuable in the book. A really good example of this is in The Goblet of Fire. We have the whole story with the house elves and with Winky. And I just love that storyline and, Hermione trying to end the slavery of house elves. And that's really not in the movies at all. It's such a cool thing in the book, but it wasn't necessary in the movie, and so we don't even meet this additional house elf. So that's the kind of stuff, the little wonderful gems that so often I see in books when the movies just couldn't do it justice for time and just for storytelling purposes. Most of the time, I love the book so much better than I like the movie. But recently, there have been 5 movies that I thought were so much better than the books, even though it kills my reader heart to say that. So I'm going to talk about those 5 movies and say why I thought that the book wasn't quite as good as the movie. There are possibly going to be some spoilers in here, but I'll try not to be too extreme. So the first book, and kind of what sparked this whole discussion, was Matilda. Matilda is a children's classic about a little girl whose parents are not very nice to her, and she goes to school, and the principal hates children and abuses them and is running just a very awful place to go to school. And Matilda kind of seeks revenge on the principal because she has some magic powers. And she also seeks revenge on her parents with these powers. And it's an interesting, if not kind of weird story. And the book for me was very hard to read because some of the abuse that Matilda suffers was really hard to watch. Most of it's verbal. Her parents are neglectful and verbally abusive, and so is the principal. Now, she also is a little physically abusive with the kids, but it was just really hard to read in the book. Where in the movie, it's done in a very comedic way. And also it's played down. Matilda's parents are not nearly as bad in the movie as in the book. And Matilda's relationship with them is a little bit better. In the book, she really hates her parents pretty much from the beginning. Whereas in the movie, she still loves her parents despite their flaws and failings. And everything with Miss Trunchbull is downplayed or played for comedic effect. It's just done in such a different way in the movie. I really didn't enjoy the book, and I really thought the movie was fun. Also, Matilda has magic powers, and they're done a lot better in the movie than in the book, I thought. In the book, they kind of show up near the end, and then after she uses them, they go away, and that's really it. Whereas in the movie, they're kind of always there, and she just has to learn how to use them, and I really enjoyed that aspect. So that was movie number 1. Movie number 2, How to Train Your Dragon. So, How to Train Your Dragon, the movie, is about a boy who becomes friends with a dragon. They're supposed to be dragon fighters, and, he tames one called Toothless, and they have an adventure. I have no idea what the book is about because I didn't get very far in it. I started reading the book, I hated it, and I DNF'd it. So basically, I just thought there wasn't much going on in the book. It was so different and didn't make a lot of sense, and the stuff that I loved in the book, or in the movie, all of the heart and the characters, really weren't in the books at all. And the books were very difficult to read, and I I didn't enjoy them at all. To the point that I started reading one, got like a quarter through and was like, nope, not for me. And I DNF'd it. So How to Train Your Dragon was number 2. Number 3, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Now, I don't know about all the versions, but the one I'm specifically thinking of is the one with Elizabeth Taylor. So I believe the book is originally a screenplay. It has been a long time since, or a play, like meant to be a play. And it's been a long time since I've read the book. One of the big differences between the book and the movie, and they're mostly pretty similar. The book and the movie are both about this couple, Maggie the cat and Brick, her husband. And they are called back home when Brick's father is announced to have terminal cancer, and they're told that the father wants to leave them his plantation, but only if Brick and Maggie have a baby, because Brick's the more responsible, better brother, but his brother has a ton of kids, and the dad wants to make sure that his plantation stays in the family. So he insists that for him to pass it on to Brick, Brick has to get Maggie pregnant before dad dies. And Brick and Maggie have had a lot of problems in their relationship. Brick lost a friend and had an injury, and all of this is kind of related to why him and Maggie aren't getting along anymore. And so it's kind of them trying to figure out what they're going to do about having a baby before time runs out and they lose their inheritance. That is kind of the plot for both, but the endings are very different. And the book ending I didn't like. I'm not going to say what it is because that would really spoil it. But I hated it. I read it and I wanted to throw the book. The movie is much more of a Hollywood ending, and I really enjoyed it more. I thought that ending was more fitting to the story, and I really enjoyed the movie Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and I didn't love the book. And I don't know, I've never seen it done as a play, so I don't know if most plays follow kind of the Hollywood version or the original play. But yeah, if you want to see it, if you want to do Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, just see the movie with Elizabeth Taylor. It's better. So where am I? Number 3, My Sister's Keeper. So My Sister's Keeper is about 2 sisters, and one has serious medical problems, and the other one has always been a donor for her. Marrow and things like that. And I can't remember this time if it's a kidney she needs or something, but the sister finally puts her foot down and says, no, you are not taking any more from me. I'm not giving this to my sister. And they're both minors. So the sister who is always giving takes her parents to court to stop having her parts given to her sister. And this is another case like Cat on a Hot Tin Roof where the ending was very different in the book versus the movie. And I did not like the book ending at all, but I really thought the movie ending was well done. The other stuff in the book movie was pretty equivalent. I didn't have a lot of comment on that, but for me, the big difference was the ending, and I absolutely love the way the movie ended, and I absolutely hated the way the book ended. All right, so number 5 and the last one on my list is a movie/book called Martian Child. And Martian Child is about a man who adopts a child out of foster care, and this child has mental health issues. I know in the movie he thinks he's a Martian, and I can't remember how big of a role that plays in the book. I read the book a while ago because it was one of those situations where I watched the movie and it was really good. It made me cry, but there were some things that were kind of underdeveloped and I really wanted to know more, so I went and got the book. And I was so desperately disappointed. The book is very different from the movie. It's different in tone, it's different in story. It was like watching and reading two different things. And I really loved the movie. It was heart-wrenching, it was amazing. I loved the plot and the characters, and it was just awesome. I didn't feel like the book had a lot of plot to it. And part of it is the book was a nonfiction. The book was actually a autobiography written from a guy who had adopted a child out of foster care and kind of the struggles that he was having. And I guess if I'd have read it by itself and not seen the movie, I probably would have enjoyed it as a work by itself. But of the two, I really, really enjoyed Martian Child, and I was super disappointed in the book because it wasn't the movie. It wasn't that same plot. It was so different that it was only like vaguely representative of, like, I could kind of see where they got the movie, but it was not comparable. Like, had you not told me they were the same, I wouldn't have realized it. So the book, because it's a nonfiction, it reads a lot differently. The challenges that he has with the kid are a lot different. And I don't feel like we got the same resolution we do in the movie. Now, again, the book is nonfiction, so when you're dealing with a child with mental health issues, you probably are never fully going to get a resolution. And the movie's much more of a Hollywood ending, like, oh, we do this and you're better, or mostly better. It's kind of a romanticized version of things. So the book is probably more realistic, but it just didn't have the same heart that the movie did. Now, I'm very passionate about foster care and adoption, and it's something I would like to possibly do someday. So I still think the book had value. It wasn't what I was expecting, and I was really sad because I really, really, really loved the movie. So those are my 5 books and movies that I thought the movie was a little bit better than the book, or sometimes a lot better than the book. And again, that is something I rarely feel. Normally I am 100% behind the book and just like, yeah, the movie was good, but the book was so much better. Now you got to read the book because the book is just way better. So I would like to hear from you. What movies did you think did a better job than the book of telling a story? Go ahead and comment below and tell me why. Give me an idea. I also wanted to add, I'm not quite done, I guess. I wanted to add too that there are 2 TV series that I love, but I didn't like the books. And that is Bones and Rizzoli and Isles. So I tried reading the Bones book, and they're a lot different than the movies. The character of Temperance Brennan is just a lot different. She's a lot younger in the books, and in the movie, and she's got a very different personality. Also, in the movie, they're in the USA, and I believe in the books, they're in Canada. And I just didn't like their version of Temperance as well. And I didn't enjoy the mystery part as well. And the same was more or less true with Rizzoli and Isles. I really loved the character development in the TV series, but I didn't love it in the books. I just didn't think the characters were as well done in the books as in the TV series. So now I'm really done. If you have comments about books or TV shows versus the movies, please leave them below. Like and subscribe. I post videos Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and sometimes Saturdays. This is Jane. I'll see you next time. Bye.